Welcome to Step Up Your Studio, the essential podcast for dance studio owners and teachers who are ready to grow their business, inspire their dancers, and create thriving studios. Join your hosts, Steven Sirico and Angela DeVolda Sirico, for actionable insights, step-by-step blueprints, and expert advice designed to help you succeed.
Everyone, and welcome to Step Up Your Studio, the podcast that will provide you with a blueprint for your continued success. And today, in the hot seat are our friends from 42nd Street Tours, the owner, Jason Neuwirth, and his A-plus team, JJ and Emily. Guys, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
So, Jason, tell us a little bit when 42nd Street Tours started.
Well, 42nd Street Tours started 22 years ago. In 2003, I was working for another tour company that did high school band and choir trips. And then they had some dance studios that traveled with them as well. So I was handling those. And I realized very quickly that dance studios want a different thing than bands and choirs want. And so I was trying to get that across to my boss, who I was working for. And I'm just a terrible employee. I'm a much better owner than I am an employee. And so that didn't last long. And I started my own company doing just dance studios.
Yes, I don't find that surprising, knowing you as well as I do. We've known each other for some time. And for those that don't know Jason, he also has he's very multi-talented. He's a musician, singer, incredible karaoke singer, for those of you that have had the opportunity to see him in action. And JJ, how long have you been with the company? What's your background?
For a long time. I don't know if it's 22 years, but it's probably somewhere close to there. I have a theater background too. I went to school for musical theater and worked as a musical theater actor singer for a long time, close to 20 years. And when I moved to the city after college, Jason had thrown some work my way, and it was super helpful for a starving artist, to be able to sort of keep it in the family, so to speak, and be able to interact with dance studio owners and parents and get them around the city safely and show them a good time. Long time, and it's been great work. And now I'm equally blessed to be on the other side, working on the other side of things.
Terrific. And Emily, your background, how long you've been with 42nd Street?
Yeah, I'm on my third year here. Jason actually hired me on the studio floor, or the show floor, at Studio Owner University. I wanted to do things my own way with my studio, and he said, well, if you're going to do it that way, you have to work for me. So I said, okay. Now looking back, it was a great choice. I'm all full-time here at 42nd Street, left my studio, and have not regretted it once.
Now, how long did you have your studio for?
I worked at the studio for 10 years.
Great. Oh, terrific. All right. So I'm a studio owner. Why do I want to do this? Anybody jump in? Why do I want to do this? What's the benefits for me as a studio owner?
Well, I currently own a studio. I've taken everything now to the other side of things. I married a dancer out of college, and we owned a studio here in Western Orlando, Florida. And I think that the first thing is the sentimental value of the tours that we offer. You get out there and have a truly enriching experience and create memories with your families and friends. And these are things that memories last. They really do. You get out there and you do these trips and you have a great time, and you see great shows, and you do enriching educational things with your peers, and the kids just remember these things forever.
Agreed. Yeah. We had a group that was leaving their show one night, and Denzel Washington was in a show next door, and all the parents went crazy. They're like, it's Denzel Washington, let's go. And the kids are like, oh yeah, let's go. And they all go over. They're waiting at the stage door. The mothers are going crazy waiting for him to come out, and the kids are like, who's Denzel Washington? So there's a memory for you right there.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. And I circling back to what JJ said too, it does create memories, and those things, that's really what we're in, right? In the dance studio business. Yeah, we want to train the kids. Yeah, we want to give them those life skills, but we want to create memories. We're creating memories all the time, whether it be shows. And this is obviously a big thing when you can take a group to, wherever you are in the country, you have maybe an opportunity to come to New York City or go to Disney or, go to Hawaii, I know you guys have lots of different tours or go on a cruise, whatever it's going to be. There's also a big team building bonding moment there, don't you think?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think that doing a trip is good for a studio. I think it brings everybody together. Everybody's working towards a common goal. I know that one studio in they're in central Pennsylvania, up north. They put a sign in the front of their studio that said, "We're going to Hawaii," and they were raising money. They were doing fundraisers for it, car washes, selling things, whatever it is, and they would update their sign every week with how much money they've raised and how much they had to go. And she said it was great for her enrollment because people were like, "Oh, that studio is going to Hawaii. I want my kid to go to that studio. That sounds like a lot of fun. Let's go there." So I think it is really good for the studio. It's really good for the families who are in the studio. I think it's just a positive experience all around.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. So I'm a studio owner. I decide I want to do this. Jason, you just touched on it about fundraising. Not that everything's about making money at a studio, but can a studio owner benefit from this financially? Can they, how does that work?
Go ahead, Emily. That sounds like a good question for you there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we allow the studio owners to add a markup to whatever price their parents are seeing. We're not disclosing that to their parents. It's a per person markup. And then after they travel, they just get a check from us for that amount. It's simple as that. Adds a great revenue stream. They're putting in hours outside of rehearsal time, ordering costumes, sorting stuff that they're not getting compensated for. So that's our answer to that, kind of helping along the way.
And the reason there's actually a reason for that. So we always had free package credits, so, based on the amount of people or the amount of rooms that are traveling. And that works out nice for studio owners. But then we started, instead of having the studio owners collect money from their people and pay us, we started billing their families directly. And whenever you do that, a studio owner can't really mark up the package like they would before. So we have to do it for them. So in addition to their free package credits that they're earning, they're also able to mark it up, mark it up $50 a person, $75 a person. And then we just write them a check for it afterwards. Like Emily said, it's just very easy for the studio owner that way.
Yeah. Terrific. All right, so I'm going to do this. Walk me through a weekend of or a couple days of how it works. So my group, we fly. Let's just say we're flying to New York City and we're going to go see a Broadway show. So we fly. Walk us through how the process there.
Well, I'll take day one.
Okay.
A good day one. A good day one is everybody's going to fly on their own. It makes no sense to fly as a group. It's never less expensive. It's always more expensive. And the other thing is, if you were to have some sort of flight problem, it's hard to get 40, 60 people onto another flight together. So what you do is you let your parents book on whatever flight they want to from whichever one of their airports they want to use to whichever one of the New York airports or Florida airports or whatever it is that they want. And then they can come a few days early if they want to. They can book that through us. And we can get them extra things to do on those days. If they're going to Disney, for example, we can extend their park ticket. But then the tour kind of starts at the hotel. So you give everybody time to get there. You start the tour at the hotel, and then we'd like to not really have anything until like maybe dinner time that day. We'll usually do like in New York, we'll do dinner and maybe a show that night. So that's a good day one. Emily, you want to talk about a good day two in New York, maybe?
Yeah, I've got day two. All right. So on day two, our dancers are going to get up bright and early. We're going to go to a workshop where they're going to either dance with a professional Broadway dancer or a dancer like a Rockette. Then we're going to bring everybody back to the Times Square area, Rockefeller Center, have lunch before we tour Radio City Music Hall. After that, they kind of have some downtime. They can go back to the hotel, change, clean up a little bit before we head out to dinner. And then we're going to close our night at Top of the Rock, looking out over the city and seeing all the pretty lights.
Fun. And for those that have never been to New York, those things alone are make this a must-do event. And JJ, you want to wrap it up?
Sure. Day three, you shift into more conventional sightseeing type stuff. Maybe. The beautiful thing about our tours is that they're very modifiable. We can always change things up. The typical tour, though, would have you get up, grab some breakfast, and maybe head downtown and hit the 9/11 Museum, head over to the Statue of Liberty and take that site in, because it's a quintessential New York thing to do. You just kind of have to see the statue at least once in your life,
Yeah.
Come back over from the statue, have a nice authentic Italian dinner in Little Italy before you head on back up to your hotel and enjoy your last night of sleep in the city. But as I mentioned, one of the virtues of what we offer is such a customizable experience. If you decided you wanted to shift gears and you wanted to take some morning time and do some more classes at Steps or the Broadway Dance Center, that's something that we can fit in for you too.
We also do performances as well. So if you wanted to perform, say, at the Statue of Liberty, we could do that. If you wanted to perform on the flight deck of the Intrepid, you could do that. There's a few options in New York. All of our destinations have options to perform as well as taking workshops.
Yeah, so I love that. So it's customizable, so people can kind of get that experience however they kind of want to formulate it. I love that. Absolutely love it. So I have to say, I'm going to give a little shameless plug here, but Jason, Angie, and I have been a couple times with Jason over to the Radio City Rockettes Christmas Spectacular. And folks, if you really want to just take your dancers to a show that just is feel good. I mean, if you like Christmas, and if you don't like Christmas, bah humbug to you. So this is such a great show to go and watch. It's a feel good show. The dancing is terrific in it. The energy is terrific in it. And if you want to take your dancers to something to get everybody in the holiday spirit, you just can't beat that. And when does that show typically start, Jason? Is that like middle of November?
It usually starts towards the beginning of November, like the first weekend of November. Usually, it's a little different every year. And then early on, they don't have as many weekday performances. Those ramp up a little farther on in November. And then it runs to either the end of December or sometimes even into January, which people go see it. We have definitely sold it at the beginning of January. It's odd to me to see a Christmas show that late, but if that's the time you can do it, that's the time you can do it. But as far as a good time to travel, this might be a good time to throw that in. If you're interested in doing the like a Christmas in the City tour, that's what we call that tour, the Christmas in the City tour, that it includes the Rockettes. I really like the dates early November, before we get too close to Thanksgiving. In between Thanksgiving and, let's say, the first week of December, that's like the shopping time in New York, and the rates are really high. The show's expensive, the hotels are expensive. Again, if that's the only time you can do it, you can do it there, but you can do it for less expensive in early November. And strangely enough, you can do it for less expensive like the week right before Christmas and the week right after Christmas, as long as you avoid the New Year's Eve time.
Yeah. When New Year's Eve in New York, I've been down to Times Square once for New Year's Eve, and it was certainly once was enough, as they would.
Enough. Yes, I agree with that completely.
And it was a long time ago as well. All right, so tell us we've touched on New York, but give us some of the destinations, and when you give it to us, tell us the experience about maybe both the educational part, the classes, and the part as far as either entertaining or a show, so to speak. So obviously in New York, it's Broadway, it's Radio City, and all of that stuff. So give us a walkthrough of some of the other destinations.
Well, JJ worked in Walt Disney World for a long time as a performer. So maybe JJ would be the person to talk about a little bit of Disney over there.
So the mouse's gravity is significant, as evidenced by the fact that I can't escape it. It's so funny. We have a little thing down here, a lot of Disney people who get together and commiserate and talk about it. Like, you try to get away and you just can't get away. But it's seriously, it's a wonderful place to bring a group, because, not only do you get to just kind of cut loose and have a great time in the parks, whether or not you're focused on Disney World or Universal across the way, but both places have educational opportunities that really are terrific. My wife used to teach for Disney Performing Arts. when she was a cast member and was a dancer at Beauty and the Beast. And I got to witness firsthand, like, just the flexibility of the workshops, the options that you have available to you. They have different formats, all sorts of different sorts of concepts for their workshops. Again, performance opportunities. The same thing goes with Universal. Universal just overhauled all of their educational opportunities. And oddly enough, interestingly enough, my studio got to go and take some of their demo classes and serve sort of a guinea pig studio. And what they're doing over there is fantastic. So you get the full breadth of options. You're not sparing anything by coming to Florida that, you could go to New York and pursue. You can get those kinds of opportunities down here too.
And
Well,
for all
that's
of our Disney fans who are studio owners, JJ, which roles did you play in Walt Disney World?
I did a lot of stuff. Sorry, I'm not good at talking about myself these days. I left the acting behind, but I enjoyed 6 or 7 different roles. I played Kristoff. I served as Crush at the Turtle Talk show at Epcot. I did Beauty and the Beast. I played Gaston. I was Jim Handy in the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, and I played an ensemble member at the Finding Nemo show. And it was a wonderful 8-9 year career. It was a really good time. My wife and I really enjoyed our time getting to work for the Mouse, and got to have a house and kids. It was great.
No, love that. Absolutely love it. No, thanks for sharing that. And but those parks too, I mean, the nice thing about that is if a family wants to come and bring siblings, I mean, obviously, yes, New York has a lot of great things, but Disney, everybody will like that, right? It doesn't matter who they're bringing. There's going to be something for everybody on one of those trips. And with the Disney, so they get a chance to perform. Same with Universal, correct? They get a chance to both perform and take classes.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. So I love that. And then the cruise part. Who wants to walk us? Emily, you want to walk us through a cruise experience?
Sure. So on the cruise, we're still going to have that performance and workshop opportunity. The cruise performance is actually a little bit longer. It's a whole 45 minutes. And then they're going to get that master class with typically the dance captain on the cruise ship. The fun thing about the cruises, you can't tap on their stage and you can't throw, things like batons up at their lights. They're a little bit peculiar about that, but you can still do, all the things that you want to do on their stage.
And we're offering Royal Caribbean and Celebrity are the 2 cruise lines that we're offering. If Disney ever allows performances on their ships from student groups, we will definitely be the first in line for that. But currently they don't do that. Emily, do you want to also maybe talk a little bit about the stuff in the middle of the country too, like the Dollywood and Nashville thing that we have going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dollywood, Nashville, they're from Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee. Let's see, Dollywood, heart of Dolly Parton. You're going to get a full day at the park there. You get 2 performance opportunities. The first is going to be at the Islands. It's this big shopping center that we sync the water fountain to the performance. It's super cool. And then also you can open for The Country Tonight, which is a musical review show that runs 365 days a year there in Pigeon Forge. You're also going to get an opportunity to take a workshop with the dancers of that show. So that's a really fun experience to kind of be part of the show, learn some of the show choreography, then watch the show, and then even stay after the show and kind of have a meet and greet with the actors and performers there. For Nashville, super fun place, capital of our state. You're going to get to kind of go see the Broadway Center that's in downtown Nashville, look at the Country Music Hall of Fame. We're going to perform before the Grand Ole Opry outside at the Opry Plaza. So as everyone's gathering, to get their tickets, kind of grab that picnic dinner, they're going to be watching your show too. The workshop there, we have 2 options. The first is at the Millennium Dance Complex, which is new, just came to Nashville. And then also you can do it with the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, love that. So that's terrific. Because circling back for one second to the cruises, where are the ports that they would catch it from? Florida or Florida, California? New
Any
York?
single Royal Caribbean port that they offer, we can get a cruise from.
Oh, good. Oh, cool. Very cool. All right.
And
Yeah.
another great destination to talk about, Steve. We definitely should not ignore Hawaii as a great destination for groups. So if you want, I'll give you a little lowdown on the Hawaii tour.
Yes,
So
please do. And as a matter of fact, I think you need to bring me out there on your next one, just
yeah,
because.
I think if you really want to experience what it's like, I think you have to see it firsthand. So we'll have to make sure you get there. Steve will be escorting the next Hawaii group, it looks like. So our groups will fly to Oahu, and we usually have them stay. And I know you're familiar with this hotel, the Hilton Hawaiian Village, Waikiki Beach Resort. That's the hotel that we generally use for groups. Although we do offer Disney's Alani, it's just a little bit more expensive there. Well, actually, a lot of bit more expensive there. So people generally choose to do the Hilton Hawaiian Village instead. But it's basically the same tour. They'll get to see a luau or two. If you're staying at the Hilton Hawaiian Village, we often use the luau next door at the Halikoa Resort. That is a military resort. So as long as there is a parent in the group who is military, we're able to book over there and do their luau, which is a much better bargain as far as the price goes. But if not, we can do it at the Hilton as well. The group will perform on stage at the Ala Moana Center, which is kind of an open air mall, but the stage, there's like 3 tiers that look down to it. So there's a ton of people watching. And normally it's all Polynesian performances that are there. So whenever something's happening there that isn't a Polynesian performance, people are very interested in it. We can do workshops with Hawaii State Ballet or Ballet Hawaii as well. And then there's a lot of downtime for the parents to take their kids, as families, and go do things. They can go and do excursions to the North Shore. They can do some snorkeling. They can go to Pearl Harbor, Polynesian Cultural Center, all of that stuff on their own. So we leave time in there for that as well.
Yeah, oh, I love it. And the great thing too about this is that, not every studio wants to compete. And so this is another opportunity. We all know we've all been in, are in the arts, and we understand what you do in the studio is great, but what you do on the stage really kind of brings what you're doing to life. And it really gives the kids an opportunity to really feel what it's like, whether they're going to be professionals or not. At least it gives them that opportunity to feel what that experience is all about. And I know some studios that don't do competition do this, and a lot of studios that do competition also do this because they understand the value in being able to get out there and just perform, right? Because that's really what it's all about. So, thinking about that in mind, what kind of tip would you like to give? And each one of you come from a different perspective, so I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here a little bit. But and it doesn't have to be anything to do with touring or anything like that, but kind of just plucking yourself out and looking at a studio owner. What tip would you like to maybe give them, an actionable tip that they can potentially use right away? We're coming down to the end of the season. Maybe it's something that they can implement, that they're going to use over the summer or implement in the fall. But what go-to tip would you like to give them that they can use right away?
Well, I definitely have one. So as far as the trip goes, I don't know anything about running a dance studio. JJ would. I definitely don't. But as far as the trip goes, I do know one thing. Studio owners should decide what destination they want. And maybe they're going to talk to just a few close teachers or whatever, but they're going to decide. Putting it out to the parents is not the best idea. Because if you do that, you're going to get a bunch of different answers. Everybody will have a different opinion. Some will want to go to Disney World. Some will want to go to Disneyland. Some will want to go to Universal. Some will want to cruise. Some will want to go to Hawaii. Some will want to go to New York. And if you get that, and then you choose a destination, you may alienate some people who wanted to go to a different place. So the best thing is just to choose the destination on your own and then present it to the family. And by the way, whenever you present it to them, one of us will do that for you. Actually, it probably won't be me. It'll be Emily or JJ. They'll do a Zoom parent meeting with all of the parents to show them the trip.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, too many chefs, not a good idea. Ever a good idea. All right, JJ, Emily, who wants to go next?
Well,
mine follows. Oh,
no, go ahead, Emily.
Okay, mine follows kind of the same vein. Is that you're bringing us in to help you. Let us help you. Kind of take the back seat. Nobody wants me to ever teach them how to tap dance or anything like that. As much as the dance teachers don't want to plan this trip, I can plan this trip for you and it will be fantastic. Don't worry, sit back. I promise to let you know anything that's going on and enjoy it. Don't bring the stress of the studio to the tour. Just sit back and enjoy it and let us worry for you.
Yeah, and
creating memories, right, during the whole thing. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Jason.
One thing there too, Emily, just to build on that point is, we're creating this website for every group that travels with us. It's called a backstage site, and the parents all have a link to that. That's where they register, make updates, and they talk to us directly. So they'll be taught if it's Emily's group, they're going to chat with Emily directly on the phone and online. And so if a parent goes to the teacher or the studio owner and says, "Hey, about the tour, what do we do with?" And the parent, they just say, "Nope, go to the backstage site, talk to Emily about it, talk to JJ about it." And the studio owner doesn't have to worry about any of that stuff. They're not collecting money, they're not answering the questions and all that stuff. Just let Emily handle it, let JJ handle it.
Yeah, I love that because I know no studio owner is looking for additional work. I mean,
No.
if this is something that's pretty much, hands off, they love that. All right, JJ, you're up.
I think that I think that there's a couple of things and it's sort of tying some things together. Something you just mentioned, Steve, about a lot of studios are competitive dance studios now, right? And it's just the way things are. But that doesn't mean we have a competitive team here. But one of the things that we talk about a lot is trying to find experiences or things that we can do that present added value. And one of the things you just mentioned about finding these performance opportunities, booking a trip, these opportunities they're ready made, they're built right in, and there's a way to take advantage of that. And I'd say, going all the way back to something that Jason said earlier on, there's something about, you were talking about the studio that did the fundraising in central Pennsylvania, and how just being able to put it out there that, hey, look, we're fundraising for a trip to Hawaii. It's not an overt thing, right? You're not saying very overtly, look at how amazing we are. But what you are doing is you're exercising this sort of mechanism that you have built into your business. You're a legitimate business. You're a legitimate dance studio. And this is something that potentially sets you apart from your competitors, because look at what you can do. You have the organizational wherewithal, and you have the prioritization skills to say, look at what the added value can be at that kind of an experience at a dance studio that is able to make a trip happen with their kids. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of added value opportunities in taking a tour somewhere.
Yeah, and when you were saying that, another thing kind of crossed my mind is, you're going to get a year's worth of social media content out of this, right? You're going to have testimonials of your parents, you're going to have testimonials with your kids, you're going to have footage, you're going to have a lot of smiling, happy faces. And if you do this wisely between images and videos, you're going to have a year's worth of content that you can put out there. And like JJ said, another thing to kind of differentiate you, hey, come to this studio, and you get this kind of an opportunity. And again, there's different opportunities to perform, but when you can blend the educational with the performing aspect, I think that's a really powerful mixture that most dance educators, I think, can kind of really lean into with it. So yeah, I love all of that. So any last thoughts that you want to give, Jason? If folks think, wow, after hearing this, I hadn't thought about doing this, how do they get in touch with 42nd Street Tours?
Well, yeah, sure. They can find us. They can just Google 42nd Street Tours. I'm sure we'll come up, or 42nd Street Cruises. We're at 42ndstreettours.com or 42ndstreetcruises.com. But yeah, and we're actually also about to start in Australia. We're sending Emily to Australia later this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah,
Tomorrow.
she loses a day though. Like she has no
Yeah.
Wednesday. I think it is correct.
Wednesday is lost this week.
Oh,
Yeah, she
no.
leaves on a Tuesday and arrives on a Thursday and doesn't have a Wednesday. It doesn't happen.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So I say again, 42ndstreettours.com is the website. And is there like a form or something, or a phone number? How do folks kind of start the process?
It's all on the website, and it's actually a different phone number depending on where you are. If you're watching this thing somewhere in Europe or in Australia, we have an international phone number for you. If you're here in the States or Canada, we have a phone number for you as well. It's all on the website. You can find all of that. But the other thing to remember, and I just want to throw this out there, whenever you ask us for a tour quote, which you can do online, that's what I kind of recommend you do. You go to our website, click the button to get a quote. Whenever we're putting this tour together for you, it is a customized tour. We kind of start off with things that work well, but we're pricing the exact dates that you want. So you're telling us what dates you want to travel. We're pricing those exact dates. We're giving you multiple hotel options so you can choose the trip based on, like in New York City, we're giving you the Marriott Marquis. We're giving you the Renaissance. We're giving you the Sheraton New York. We're giving you all of these Times Square area hotels. Nothing over in Jersey. Not that I have a problem with Jersey, but because I'm in Jersey. But your group is not going to be sitting in traffic at the Lincoln Tunnel. So at any rate, the best thing to do is just go to the website and click and give us a call and tell us what you want to do. We will build something for you in like a day, for sure.
All right. Love that. Absolutely love it. Well, look, guys, I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy week. Emily, safe travels over there to Australia. I know you're going to have a great time. And guys, thanks so much for being a part of our podcast, Step Up Your Studio. Folks, we'll see you on the next broadcast. Take care. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Step Up Your Studio. Remember to subscribe, share with fellow dance professionals, and join our community dedicated to studio success. Until next time, keep stepping up.